Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 24 of the African Do podcast. Today, we are privileged to have the founder of a very interesting company, a company that I enjoy their content very much. And I'm a big fan of what they do. And this is Mike Muthiga of Fatboy Animations. So, Mike, welcome to the African Do podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So let's get into it. I mean, you're in this unique space of content creation, the creative economy, as we have come to learn over the years, the evolving part of the Kenyan digital economy. So where does this start? Where do you, as an before, maybe even before Fatboy Animation, how do you get into this space? Because you starting at a time when there was probably no formal education or formal structure. We grew up watching cartoons, but we didn't necessarily have any local cartoons, that we could watch. A lot of us, yeah.
Mm.
So, how do you find yourself in an animation space?
Well, yeah, there was really no formal industry or training for animation when I was starting.
Yeah.
I mean, all I had to go with was the cartoons I was watching.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think what we had in our education system, I think it's improving now, but all we had was fine art.
Yes.
Um, no multimedia. So all I could do was, a lot of drawing and stuff. But I'm terrible at drawing, by the.
Yes.
A lot of people always ask if you need to know how to draw to get into animation.
Yeah.
Now you don't need to.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at it. But that's what I used to do a lot of.
Which
And then
cartoon characters, for example, just to maybe it might give away your age, but which cartoon characters were you enjoying that was?
I loved all of them. Tom and Jerry,
Yes.
Dexter,
Yes.
the Wish Kid.
Yeah.
Um, uh, those cartoons for is it the 90s or the
The
early
90s.
early 2000,
Early 2000, late 90s, early
late
2000s.
90s? Yeah,
Yeah.
those are some of my favorite.
Okay.
It's on Cartoon Network especially.
Okay.
So I'd watch that. I always wanted to figure out how to do it, and slowly just started teaching myself. Polo Polo, it was self-taught. Just started with the basic softwares, Corel Draw.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was available then. You
Mm-hmm.
go to Photoshop.
Yeah.
Those are obviously not for animation, but good to learn. You're going to need them in future.
Yes.
So progressively, just learning different softwares,
Okay.
that all the way to Blender, Maya, and stuff. Then, and also learning the principles of animation. I was able to ship in some books. Funny enough, I found some in Sarit.
All right. At a bookshop.
Textbook center.
Okay.
I found some books on learning 3D animation.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised. I mean, no one was teaching it, but they had the
Yes.
books.
Okay.
So I got those and just studied them. And that's how I started off.
So literally self-taught. You have literally taught yourself how to do this stuff.
Yeah, I did.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So now, when I was reading through your profile on LinkedIn, yeah, I noticed that you are part of a project. What was it called? With homeboys.
Tinga Tales.
Tinga Tales. Yes.
I was.
And how do you get into that? Because,
Mhm.
like you say, you're self-taught. Yeah. So how do you find yourself when homeboys and I can't remember the name of the organization. Tiger Aspect.
Yes.
Yeah, are looking for people. How do you end up as one of those people? And what was the impact of getting into that program to your animation?
Now that it did have a huge impact on my animation. Now the self-taught part, I had a lot of knowledge. I just didn't know how to put it together.
Okay.
And working on Tinga Tales is what now helped me learn how to organize and put everything together.
Mm-hmm.
Know what to do at what stage and how to do it, and be able to now put out proper animations. So that really helped a lot, and also how to manage the production and all that. It really helped a lot. I think at the time they had hired. I joined after they'd started,
Okay.
and I think they were short on animators,
Okay.
so they just put out an call for animators to apply. So I applied. We were shortlisted. We had to do, I think, 2 or 3 months of training,
Yes.
which to me was it was really good. I was like free, like
Education.
formal education, the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
formal education I'm getting in animation, and by professionals, actually, guys who've worked, in big productions, Disney stuff, and so really learned. I learned a lot, and after the 3 months, then they were shortlisted again, and I got hired on Tinga Tinga Tales
Yeah.
as a junior animator.
Okay.
I think I did that for um, a couple of months, then got to lead animator.
Okay.
Then I did that for 1.5 years. Then
And what exactly are you doing when you're a junior animator and when you're a
so
lead animator?
junior animator. So there's a lead animator. The team leader is the one who'll approve the final scenes that have been animated. So as a junior, you just animate whatever you're assigned and stuff.
Yeah.
So the lead, it's their work to make sure that you've done it properly,
Yeah.
the animation is properly done, lip sync everything, and managing the time to make sure that the episodes are complete on time. I think every month you have to make sure you've completed one episode.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that would be the role as the lead.
Okay.
Yeah, so junior and then lead.
So when you're saying that, that was now the experience that, am I right in saying that it gave you a full circle understanding of the world of animation? Because you now meet the sound guys, because I heard you mention lip syncing.
Yes.
So you now meet the other guys, the storytellers, and so on. So is that where?
Yes, and that's why I now learned all that. How do you bring the sound and the animation together? How do you do acting for animation? How do you manage the process of the animation from the start to the end? Because you can't just jump in and make an animation.
Yes.
Or start in the middle or start at the end.
Yeah.
You'll take forever to finish. So organization, what comes first, what comes last.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say acting for animation, what exactly does that mean? Because for me as a layman, I know an animation as a character that is drawn or is moving, but you're now talking about acting for animation.
Yeah.
So maybe you can help us understand what that is.
So what I learned is, I think one of the guys who was training me told me, just sit down and watch Pixar movies, the animations, watch them, see how, and if you can, just record your face as you're watching.
Yeah.
Go back and play and see.
Okay.
See how your expression is changing
As you're
you
watching.
watch the animation. It's because you're deep into the animation. It's making you feel something. So it's having an effect on you. And the way to do that is acting first starts with the voice.
Yes.
The voice acting.
Yeah.
How you express emotions. When guys do animation, you just take a script and read it. It doesn't bring life to it.
Okay.
Which is what I get also from all this AI. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, good graphics, but the voice
is off.
It starts with the voice. The voice is already off, so there's no life in it. There's expressions you make with your face when you're portraying different emotions.
Yeah.
That's acting. And then there's body movement, body language that corresponds to different emotions and actions and stuff. So the same way you watch live action movies, that acting, is, or when you go to theater, that's the best place to actually see it. When they're acting and expressing emotions, and you look at the body language, translate that now to animation.
Okay.
Now, when you translate it to animation, add a bit of exaggeration.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that makes it, that's for cartoony animations. For more realistic animations, just translate it to,
Okay.
yeah.
So basically, acting for animation is, it's like acting, theater acting, but without the, you have to capture the expressions, you have to
Yeah.
capture the intonation, you have to
Yes,
capture.
yes.
So capturing surprise,
Yes,
by
yes.
by that's what you're talking about when you say acting for animation.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And a lot of it is the animations I do. Even if I don't do the lip sync and everything,
Yes.
you'll be able to tell what this guy is talking about or how he's feeling, and that's from the body movement and the actions, the acting of the body acting.
Okay.
Once that's done, usually, so we start with that, and then we go to the eyes. You can tell a story just through the eyes, where the pupils are looking, and how they are moving.
Yeah.
The eyebrows, the expressions they're making. So if I do that and the body, without the lip sync, you'll already be able to tell
Yes.
what this guy is saying or what's going on with in his head.
Okay.
And then the lip sync last.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started your journey self-taught, reading books, textbook center. You're fortunate to find books. You get other books, you read, and then you get into this opportunity with the homeboys and tiger aspect. So you get involved in Tinga Tinga Tales, and you say you do what, about 2 years?
About two,
Two,
one and a half.
one and a half to two.
Yeah.
So now, Tinga Tinga Tales was a time-based project, so it ended. Yeah. Then where does Mike find himself after that?
So Tinga Tinga Tales was more of it was 2D animation.
Yes.
And I was really, really interested in 3D animation.
Okay.
There was a lot of people doing 2D animation, and 3D really fascinated me.
Okay.
And people usually shied away from it because they think it's difficult. So I decided, let me go with that one. When I finished, by the time I finished Tinga Tinga Tales, I'd already, because I was still learning my 3D on the side. So I'd go to work, finish my work, go home, study some 3D. Weekends, study some 3D. By the time I was finishing in Tinga, I was able to make now complete 3D animation.
So you were doing it concurrently, and when you're saying study, have things moved online? What are you doing? Are you reading? Are you doing YouTube? What are you doing? Where are you studying?
The books I had, the books
Okay.
I bought, because it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, and it's a bit difficult when you don't have a tutor.
Yes.
So doing it on your own, it will take quite some time.
A lot of trial and error.
Yeah, a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll just get stuck and be like, let me just go to sleep. Your brain is tired. Then in the morning you figured it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also learning the software takes practice, repetition. So because it looks a bit intimidating when you open it. There's so many icons and tabs to click on.
Yes.
Too many things, but repetition over 3 months, 4 months, you'll know where everything is.
Okay.
So even the during the trial and error and getting stuck, you're still grasping the software. And,
okay.
And you'll be able to remember what you need to do.
Okay.
So by the time I was finishing, I was able to make at least my first full 3D animation, which I'd posted online and on YouTube. I think was the first viral video I'd ever had.
Oh, really? What was it?
It was Jimmy Gates' Huratete song. So just this character dancing to it.
Yes.
And when I posted it, calls started coming in. So it's, clients, hey, we saw this. Are you doing this in Kenya? Is this? We want something similar and stuff. So that's how it all
Interesting.
started.
And so are these clients, you you've taught yourself 3D animation, yeah?
Mm.
And then you put your education, so to speak, to practice.
Mhm.
And you create this video, yeah?
Yeah.
And you go in and post it on where? On YouTube?
YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then from that, now guys start looking you up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't think I hadn't even. Did I even have an email? It's just what I put on that video was my phone number. I think in my email. So the guys started calling.
Okay.
And the first one was some. I can't remember the name of the client, but that first one didn't go through, and they were offering to pay, I think, 250K for a video, which that was a lot of money. Now I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, this, I'll do it.
This is a
But
corporate client?
that one was I never actually met them because we were just talking. I can't remember exactly what kind of client. But
Is the video still there on YouTube? That first one? Can we find it? Or
It's there. I'll send you the link.
yeah, send me. I'd
Yeah.
love to see it. Yeah, your first work. Yeah.
And then the second client that called was now estimate through the agency was Telcom.
Okay.
Orange.
Okay.
Back then was Orange.
Yes.
And them, they were like, hey, look, we like this. Well, no, we need like 9-10 episodes of this kind of animation and stuff. And that was now like now Tinga Tinga had ended, but then I got that. So then I registered Fatboy Animations. I got the job, did that.
So this time it's just Mike.
Yeah.
Fatboy Animations is a one-man band.
It's a one-man band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just you now, and so you get this, but that's a pretty high level client as a first client.
It was. But I think what they saw, this is me in my bedroom, just a tiny bedroom doing this. But what the work you put out there, someone will think this is a big studio.
Uh-huh.
So them, they don't know the person behind.
Yes.
They know the result.
They're just consuming the content in front.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So I guess they assume that this one can make something good for us.
And that's where, and that's so you produce for them?
Yes, I produced for them.
And what were they? It was were they telling a certain story?
It was just skits. This is called Orange Maniacs.
Oh, yes. Yes.
One of my very, very first. Now when I look back at them, I'm like, nimetoka mbali.
Yeah, you cringe a bit.
A bit. So yeah, but at the time, it was looking really, really, really good. So I think with the money I made from that is now when I now got like proper upgraded equipment and stuff, and the softwares and everything. Took some online classes.
Yes.
Proper online classes.
Yes.
And then started just improving on the 3D animation.
But how do you know how to bill for that first one? Or how do you negotiate? What's the basis?
I didn't know.
You're just like,
I didn't know how to bill. I didn't know. I just said, let me just go overboard and say 9 million. I said 9 million.
You said 9M is what it will cost.
Yeah.
And it's just so it's a 9 episodes or 10 episodes?
There were 10 episodes.
Okay.
No, there were 9 episodes.
So it's an M an episode.
Yes.
Okay.
And this, I think obviously they came back, I guess, negotiated it to like 4 million there.
It came down, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, that's still a lot.
Still a lot. And when you finish now, you start now buying your stuff. Yeah. I'm sure you had some bootleg softwares there. Now you go proper.
No, I did not have bootleg.
You did not have bootleg.
I did not have bootleg software.
Okay. Yeah.
I had trial versions.
Trial versions. Okay.
Trial versions.
Okay.
So we obviously now got the the original softwares now, the
Full versions,
full
yeah.
versions. Back then, you could get them like a perpetual license.
Yes.
And I mean, now you can't.
Yes.
And so yeah, and then just started improving on the 3D
Okay.
and making, learning more and more. At least I was able to subscribe online for the online classes. The site was called is called Digital Tutors.
Okay.
I think they changed to plural sites.
Yeah, and that's a paid. So you
Yeah,
paid for
pay.
you
You
paid
pay.
for online classes.
But
Your
now
journey of
that's
self-learning continues.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's also a bit difficult with those online classes because you just pay a subscription and they give you everything. So now you need to figure out, what do I need to learn? So you need to really look for the classes you need to take.
So you
It's
pay a subscription and then they
You-
just bulk send you everything.
You have all the tutorials,
Yes.
learn what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At your pace.
At your pace.
So it's not that you sign on this day, there's a class, like
No.
nothing.
No. And the classes that are there are not just for animation, it's for everything. So
Yes.
it becomes a bit difficult to figure out what I need to learn.
Okay.
And once you figure that out, yeah, it becomes easy.
So you navigate this maze. And now Fatboy has been kitted out. I'm sure you have some new machines. You have your proper software. So how does the journey continue?
So we just continue making more and more.
More clients come?
More clients come. Then we got the fiber client.
Yes.
Down has been a good client, a long-term client. So
what's that character called? Your character, like a big guy. He's called.
The first fiber was not even that one. It was the Caveman guy.
Okay.
And Down was also went viral. It was a hit. Where people loved it. The one who says, "Is that your wife calling?"
Yes.
Then we did the Mbugua guy, the big one.
Yeah, Mbugua. Mbugua is a guy who he's still a living character today.
He's still a living character.
He's still around, yeah.
Yeah. And guys love him as well.
Yeah.
I think he's had a long shelf life, that one.
Yes. Yes.
And then the rest that just keep coming up.
Okay.
More and more. We did then the Safaricom one, mazgwembe.
Yes.
We did we've done a couple of Safaricom animations. We created the Zuri character.
Yes.
But now you see, I was just now creating for corporates.
Yes.
I still wanted something my own.
Yes.
Which is now when I came up with now Capinto.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before Capinto, was Capinto the first one? There's this another character I really like. This lady and her daughter.
Mama Maiko.
Yes.
Yeah. So the way this came up was I first started with the character designs. So I looked at the characters. I'm like, the stuff I used to watch on Cartoon Network, I want something like that, but African in 3D, with a completely African theme, and just some funny designs, big head, those ones, round. Some guys helped with with their suggestions. Add a ponytail, which was a very good one. Someone commented, add a ponytail, and so the Mama Maiko was the first one. We created all of them. Mama Maiko, the daughter, Capinto, the other girls. So Capinto and Kapintress were actually, my idea was for them to be the kids of Mama Maiko.
Yes.
And the dad. And then the daughter was the big sister and there was the big brother. But then it took a whole different direction. There was now Mama Maiko and the daughter.
Yes.
And then Capinto, they were supposed to be babies, but I remember watching Family Guy and Stewie.
Yes.
He's supposed to be a baby, but behaves like
but
a grown
he behaves like an adult. Yeah.
So I was like, let's do that with Capinto. Let these be grown-ups.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So my favorite, let's come to you. Brought him into the picture, Capinto. Capinto, when I look at Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Capinto has become the real African character. I think Capinto as a Kenyan, Capinto is a brilliant Kenyan ambassador, because when you look at the comments, and I like to read the comments with each episode you post, they're from all over.
all over
They are from all over the
continent.
continent,
Yeah,
and the diaspora and the
yeah,
African diaspora have kind of adopted this character.
yeah.
Because I hear comments about people wanting to learn Swahili,
Ah, yes, yes.
from South Africa. What's that language? I love the language. I love
Ah,
the sound. What is it? You hear people of European descent, even asking this guy. I think once or twice you've posted Capinto without the captions.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then in
yeah,
the comments, guys are like, hey,
yeah.
guy, we don't understand what our guy is saying,
Yeah,
and they've kind of owned that character.
yeah.
And it's interesting for you to say that he was not originally designed like that.
Mm.
That he was supposed to be Mama Michael's kid.
Baby,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now, how has that whole Capinto journey been?
It's been so we also learn along the way. I remember in the beginning when I said managing, because I had those characters in my drive
Yes.
for some time.
Yes.
Um, and earlier I'd said you need to start from the beginning. You can't jump in the middle. So first we need a good voice.
Mm,
We need a good voice.
mm.
And I found that voice now through Capinto himself. This Capinto himself, he's on his page, the real guy.
Okay,
So
the guy who is the voice of
who's the
Capinto.
voice?
Yeah.
Yes. So that voice and the way, even without watching his videos, if you just play the audio, you can imagine how he's moving because there's so much expression and intonation and expression of emotions when he's talking, like especially when he's angry.
Mm.
So I was like, that's the perfect one. That's the one we'll use for this kid.
So when you say find a voice, allow me to dig a bit deeper. What does that look like? Because this character is now originally just living in Mike's head. Yeah.
Mm.
But now you say you found the voice. So where do you go looking for voices?
So voices, the thing is, the best voice needs to come naturally. So
Mhm.
I auditioned. I've auditioned so many times. I'll give you a script, act it out, and it just doesn't fit in. When you're behind the camera, I think it's maybe, I don't know if there's not much experience in acting. I'm not
Yes.
so sure
Yeah.
in Kenya or something.
Mm.
Because once you get the script, uh, I think people fear or something, and it's very hard to be natural.
Mm.
When you're off the script, when you're talking with your friends, hapo kwa bar,
Yes.
that's the perfect voice.
Okay.
Because or when you're fighting, say maybe fighting with your spouse
Spouse
or
or
you're fighting
girlfriend or yeah.
girlfriend or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
uh, and there's no camera on you when it's a real fight. That acting is now the best.
Mm.
So I auditioned a couple of guys, but it just doesn't fit the character, because when I close my eyes and listen to you acting out, I can't picture this guy, exaggerating, or I can't picture how he'll move.
Mm.
I don't know. When I was just scrolling TikTok, then I just came across one of Capinto's videos.
Mm.
Now his is completely. I don't know how he does it. It's completely natural,
Okay.
and he does it on camera as well.
Yes.
Uh, and it's the silly way he moves when he's saying stuff and everything, and then I was like, yeah, that's the
That's the
one.
guy.
That's the one. Yeah.
Okay. So then what? You reach out to him and
Yeah,
say,
so I reached out to him. I was like, hey, let's have this cartoon character. Let's make animations out of this. It could be big. I believe this one will be big because this thing is really good.
mm,
So he agreed. I was a very easy guy to work with.
mm-hmm.
He agreed, and we just started making them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Like I say, I love him as a character. But now let's talk a bit about, you said at the beginning when you're creating Kina Mama Michael and the daughter Is she Wangeci or what's the daughter called? The daughter of Mama Michael, the one
sort of
who's
Wangwe. I haven't
there's one
done.
particular clip where she's crying for heartbreak, and her mom has no sympathy for her heartbreak.
Yeah.
So you capture, I feel, the power and importance of local context,
Yes.
because from Mbugua, even the way he talks,
Yes.
he's, like you say, he's a bit of an over exaggerated character, but a lot of people who are Kenyan, can relate to those characters because
Yeah.
they are local and
Yeah.
they're creative with the local context.
Yeah.
But as they grow and evolve into characters and take their own life, they sometimes participate in social commentary on various issues, and they capture nuances of how we are, who we are. I know last year during the Gen Z protests, Capinto, did one or two. There were one or two skits just
Yeah.
capturing the mood of the nation.
Mm.
So, how's that journey for you? Because I think it was your character, but it now becomes not really your character, in the sense that if you do some things with Capinto today, there'll be hue and cry, on the owners, or who are the people out there consuming the content. Yeah.
You know, so I try to make them feel like part of the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just carefully choosing, real things that are going on and involving the characters as well, so that guys can also feel he's part of them as
Yeah.
well. So and also I try to do it in a comical way. I just try and balance
The humor and the
this.
messaging. Yeah.
Also, just trying to be careful not to cause any trouble.
Not
And
not
uh,
okay. But now Capinto, now as he evolves, the story is telling itself and evolving. So there's now this chick, South African chick, and the guy, the big muscular Nigerian guy, I think is this an evolution as a result of your consumers of the content? Or
it is.
yes.
It is as a result. Because I learn a lot from the consumers as well.
Yeah.
And it's something when you watch Western films,
Yes.
animations and films, you'll notice that they'll have different characters, and I know, I don't know if America has different languages, but you'll see characters, Southern accent, I think a New York accent,
Yes.
and what's this one? I don't know, hillbilly is something like
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
and they'll have all those different characters looking like that, which is these different characters from different states. They look different and they speak different. So it's the same thing with Africa. We can have, let's think of United States of Africa.
Yes.
We have different characters there from South Africa, Nigeria.
Yeah.
Latest ones from Somalia.
Yes.
Yeah, we can have the
It's good you brought that guy. That guy.
yeah.
Okay. That's what does he have a name? That guy.
I call him Somman.
It's called Somman. Yeah.
It's short for Somali man.
Yeah.
And again, all these characters starts with the voice. The voice actor needs to be completely natural, really good. So the guy who does the Somali is called Odeshiwa.
Yeah.
There's a couple of his videos on YouTube.
Yes.
I've just listened to listening to the audio. You can, and there's no video of it, but it's just audio.
Yes.
That's all he has. But then it's so funny. And when I heard it, I was like, I need to make this. into.
So did you create the character after hearing the voice?
Yeah, so I created the character after I had the voice, and because even the voice is just giving you like a picture of how this funny character will look.
Yeah.
For the South African character, she's called Kanyisa
Yeah.
on her page. Again, if you just look at her page, musician, when she's talking her funny skits, you see, even if you see her facial expression, you'll be. It's so natural. Perfect voice that fits it. Mama Maiko, Wamboy, and Mama Maiko and the daughter Wamboy. That was Mike Mushiri when he was doing those audios.
Yes.
I don't know how he was able to do both, but again,
Mama Michael, the voice is a guy.
It's the same. Yeah.
Oh, Mama Michael and the daughter is one person.
Yeah. Mike
Oh, wow.
Mushiri. It's a guy.
Eh.
Yeah.
Hey, boss.
And those are the kind of people, like that's really very good voice acting. I don't know if he knows it, but that's talent in voice acting.
Oh yeah.
There's when there's a character, it's a female character, and it's a guy doing it, and you can't tell. That's something.
Hey, boss. Even I think that's one of the things that one has surprised me, that the Mama Michael character, the voice is a man. Yeah, that's some brilliant acting, voice acting right there.
Yeah.
So you have all these characters. So maybe we should talk a bit about where you're going. But before we talk about where Fatboy Animation is, yeah, Capinto and the other characters who are now Fatboy Animation characters, they double in commerce sometimes. So you produce your content, and sometimes it's commercial. So how is that determination made? Is this a request by clients, or what happens when
sometimes it's a request by clients.
Yeah.
I know guys don't like watching the commercial ones, but that's how it pays for the fun ones that you like to watch.
Yes.
So yeah, he's sometimes in those products or do commercials. Some will pitch or propose. Yeah.
Okay. And that of course brings you into the world of IP.
Yes.
Protection. You're dealing with people's voices. So you get into that whole. How has your journey been on the more behind the scenes and scene side of animation? Legally, protection of your characters, imitation, and all that.
Yeah, we will always protect the characters, the IP, and everything. But I think when it goes global, there'll always be some culprit. Some will just ignore and do their own things with it.
Yes.
But yeah, we have to protect the IP.
Have you found the legislation to be sufficient?
Our legislation?
Yes, our Kenyan legislation for those protections.
It's good enough.
It's good enough. It's working for now.
It's working for now.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, just expand when you say behind the scenes, like.
So there's clearly a lot that goes into. We just watch the content. It comes out on Instagram, but you're talking about multiple relationships with multiple people.
Yeah.
So what are those relationships? Somman, Capinto, are they contractual?
So I have to reach out. I have to reach out to them and and ask them, hey, look, can we work on this together? Are you open to it? We'll have that conversation. If you're open to it, then ideally for I don't say much on what our agreement is, but I have to reach out and talk to them and try and make sure that this is a long-term thing.
Yes.
And we can in future generate revenue from this
Yes.
together.
Yeah.
And there's a Chinese character I created. I still haven't found a voice for it, so I just did a song. But then, I think 2 days ago, this guy who does some funny. I was watching Instagram. He does some funny Chinese accent. He's Chinese and speaks in English. So I just followed him, and he followed back and said, "I love your videos." And I was like, "Let's work on some
Oh,
animations."
really?
Yeah,
So we look out for that guy coming soon.
coming soon. And he's
Yeah?
like, "Yeah, I'd love to do it." So it's something I was excited. So we'll jump on it and make the next couple of animations with the Chinese.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what your story thus far captures for me is the power of creativity and culture,
Yes. Yes.
even in terms of bringing people together.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. One of the challenges we have as I think animation creators. I've seen guys in feature films and is working together.
Mm,
In animation, not so much. Everyone wants to be um, the one-stop shop and do everything and be the limelight.
yeah.
And it's improved over time, but that was also a big challenge. Someone wants to do I'll do the voice, I'll do the character, I'll do the animation, I'll do everything. And in the credits, it's all going to be my name,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is a big challenge. When you just assign whoever is best at this, let them do it.
Yeah.
These guys they're the best at doing the voice, let them do it.
Yes.
Do I generate the voice with AI? No, because it's just, it's
It won't be.
mechanical. There's no soul in it.
True.
The guys who do it best, let them do it best. Am I good at drawing? Terrible at drawing. Let the guy who knows how to draw. Um, what kind of animations? When thinking about what kind of animations to make, there was there's this trend of when you're making African animations, we either want to make African superheroes or folk tales
Yes.
and stuff like that. And I was like, no.
We just want regular guys.
No, we want regular guys.
Yeah.
If you watch Family Guy, it's Family Guy, American Dad, which other one? Rick and Morty is a bit, that's a bit exaggerated, but still those family, it's about day-to-day lives.
Yeah, even this to
Of
me.
those
What
people.
are these kids? What are they called? South Park.
South Park.
Those to me crazy to me kids. Yeah.
So it's about everyday life of these people, where they live and their cultures and everything. It's everyday life. So in the same way with African, just do everyday life, and then you can add exaggeration on top of it. Maybe you can make just add exaggeration to it, some humor and stuff like that. So I wasn't never for the idea, unless it's for kids, making just kids content and nursery rhymes, musicals and stuff.
Yes.
That's like Cocomelon. That's just to attract kids and I guess and for education. The stories people want to, I think, people would love to hear about Africa is day-to-day lives of Africans, how it really is. Something I keep seeing online. I don't. Some of these Black Americans who move to Kenya, and these Zungus who are always coming to Kenya, and they'll go online and say, "This is not the Kenya we see on
from that
TV.
side, yeah,
and it's so different." Because I guess you're expecting to come and see a jungle and lions walking in the streets and something like that. And I mean, in some places, some lions will break into your house, but it's the every day-to-day lives.
Those are just living.
Yeah,
they're enjoying. They are stealing from each other. They are enjoying. They are bashing. Just day-to-day life.
Yeah,
fabulous. I think, and I don't know whether you set out to do this, but I think you capture for me one of the things that this I would like this podcast to be about. Yeah. Which is, us guys are just here.
Yeah.
We are here. We are Africans. We are in Africa.
Mm.
We are living our lives.
Mm.
Yeah. I've come to appreciate the power of narratives, you know. So I take issue with some things, like, for example, not to bash them too hard, but things like SDGs, development goals. Were we at that table to determine that this development is what is important to us?
Mm.
So what I like about your characters is that they are just characters.
Yeah.
And even from the first character that I encountered of yours, now that you mentioned Mazgwembe, I need to go back, and because I remember that thing on the
Yeah.
ad, as a Safaricom ad. But the one I think that really stuck with me was Mbugua,
Mm.
and because I know some Mbuguas,
Mm.
probably even elements of what Mbugua is.
Yeah.
I know 3 or 4 characters. You would pick a bit of the voice from this guy, the mannerisms from this guy, but I
Yeah.
know those guys.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are many Kenyans who go through the same.
Yeah.
And this crazy short guy, Capinto, some of the things, his craziness,
Mm.
you're like, okay, sir, you're a bit of a crazy guy, but I can relate to your craziness
Yeah.
because it aligns with what. And when you see the big Nigerian guy,
Yeah.
a lot of Kenyans who are in the club, they can relate
Yeah. Yeah.
to the Nigerians. And that's the African story.
Mm.
And the fact that it's been told from our lens is really powerful. Uh, I don't know if you set out to do that or it is a byproduct of what you're doing.
No, I set out to do that.
Excellent.
Because when I always wanted to be able to achieve that. When I used to watch these Cartoon Networks animations and Kina Tom and Jerry and those early cartoons,
Mm,
uh, I'd be like, where's the African one? I need an African version of this,
yes.
and not folk tales.
Mm,
I need day-to-day lives of
mm,
Africans. Dexter's Laboratory. This is a scientist boy I think the character was Russian.
mm.
Like a Russian accent.
Yes, he
Yeah.
speaks with a Russian accent. Yeah.
And I noticed there's always like a family setting.
Yes.
These guys go to school. These guys at the playground. These guys go to the mall. All of them, cow and chicken, everything. It's a family setting.
Yes. They're just chilling.
They're just chilling, day-to-day life.
Mm,
So I always wanted that something that's not, it's not forced. It needs to come naturally.
naturally.
Yeah. So even the way I came up with the Mbugua character, this was ideally meant to be. So it was meant to be an ad.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, it was meant to be an ad. But guys took it like just pure content. This is, like you're saying, this is, I know Mbugua, I know this is me or this is that guy. And then at the end is where we put the ad. Now, how I found the voice, again, that one I auditioned a couple of times. I couldn't find a voice for him. I was at the garage somewhere upper town, and I didn't even have a name for it, for the character. I just had the character. How I got the name, I was at the Ngara. I was in Kitambo. I was installing speakers kwa gari.
Yes.
And the guy who was doing it was called Mbugua.
Yeah.
And the way the shopkeeper, the owner would shout and he'd call him is Mbugua, Mbugua. So I was like, that's the name. We'll call him Mbugua.
That's the guy. Uh-huh.
Yeah, not the voice, but the name. So we'll call this character Mbugua.
Yeah.
Now auditions, I auditioned a couple of guys, still couldn't. I didn't get the voice for him. And when I was leaving the studio, there was this guy. He was I don't know. He was doing some work on the building or something now. And I had him talking to someone else. It was like past something. And that accent, I was like, that's the voice. So I'm like, hey, can you come? Can we try up a studio something? I gave him the script. Perfect. Then we got that's Mbugua's voice.
Hey, boss. This is even more interesting than I thought.
But you see, his was completely natural.
Yes.
Of course, we had to do a couple of takes. We give him the script. It will change a bit.
Yes.
It won't be natural. So I'm like, just memorize. It's a short script. Memorize it, and then take away the script. Now just talk the way you are talking to that guy. He got
Perfect.
it perfectly. Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm assuming now Fatboy Animation is not the one-man band it was in those early days. There's a
No,
team.
no.
So what has it evolved into, and where do you see it going?
The industry is evolving quite fast. You know, there's something new all the time. So we might plan to go this way, something happens, and then to plan and go this other way, do something different. AI has just come in and changing things. So
Yeah.
I think we go one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So if AI goes that way, we'll go this way. We need to do something that it cannot
AI
do.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah. And the industry has changed a lot. Before, I always wanted to have a show on TV.
Yeah. Free to air TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then getting there, it's difficult. I mean, the costs. There's no budget to do that. Making animation is expensive now.
Yeah.
Who's going to fund it? And also, to understand how will they make their money back?
Yes.
Making animation is expensive, and to the point I was thinking, look, I'll make the animation, just put it on TV. That's free marketing for me. It became so difficult. But now with this revolution of a digital space, you can have your whole episode on the phone.
Yes.
The whole series on the phone. They don't have to be that long, like Capinto. It's
Yes.
the 30 seconds, 1 minute long.
Mm.
You can make so many of them. Now that's content that's, I think, reaching even more people than it would have on TV.
Yes.
And so it's just to grow that more and go beyond that. The future is to go beyond that. How do we continue to make good content, leveraging technology and being consistent, and expanding the team, and going with the changes that are coming.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
No, I mean, I've really enjoyed this conversation, and for me, it's like been a throwback because I've been consuming your content, not knowing who's behind you. But I really like that the ethos of what you're about prescribes to a lot of things. Maybe there was a subconscious attraction to your content for me.
Yeah.
Because of the things that you're talking about. You're espousing African. In fact, now that I think about it, Mama Wangeshu's daughter, if you look at her, she always has some African print on her face, but in a very modern way.
Yeah.
So the Nigerian character, the guy who gives Capinto's love crush,
Yeah.
that guy looks muscular. He reminds me of the traditional West African wrestlers,
Yeah.
but in a very modern context.
Yeah.
So I love that those are the basis of your stories,
Yeah.
and I'm really happy that one, you exist, and that Fatboy Animation exists, because I like to say that one of the things that captures for me where we are going is my kids. When my firstborn daughter is 14, when I was 14, culturally, music, movies, TV, most of what I consumed was Western, because that was what was available to me. Yeah. So my music was hip hop, R&B, and neo soul. That's what I used to consume. That's what I liked.
Mm.
Yeah. My shows were local. My cartoons were not local. My shows were largely American. A few British. As a kid. But now, when I look at my daughter, I'm saying we don't even know where we are going because these guys are being fed such a steady diet
Yeah.
of local content, and the local content is built to an international standard,
Yeah.
and that is fabulous.
Yeah.
So mine is to one, thank you very much for what you do. I think it's fabulous. Continue telling those stories.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you're developing nuanced characters that are real, and like you talk about a Chinese character. Yeah. Chinese in a Kenyan context have become part of our culture.
Yeah.
Because they are the major contractors in construction sites for big developments. Yeah. So having a Chinese character gives you so much bandwidth into life as it is now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
True.
mine is one to thank you
Yeah.
very much for doing what you do. And also that you capture what I believe we're about, which is espousing African excellence.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
keep learning, keep teaching, and thank you very much for the existence of Fatboy Animation. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
There's this. I forgot to mention. There's something that just caught my attention when I look at, because Japanese animation is different from
Yep.
the West.
Mm.
They have the style of animation.
Mm.
The Asians, Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, and there's a style to even animating it. There's a style to how they look, how they move, and we can also have that.
Yes.
That's what I want also for Africa. And one thing is, there's some people who um, get offended
Yes.
with how sometimes the characters look. I'm
Mm.
like, embrace Africa.
Yes.
Don't run away from this. We have big lips
Yes.
and they look good.
Yes.
They don't look bad.
Yes.
So some will be like, why are you giving him big lips? Why are you giving him dark, light lips, dark face? Because we are dark.
Yes.
And let's make it cool. Don't make it like it's something bad or to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that their accents,
Yeah.
their accents, I like when we were in school, which in retrospect I now see to be a fallacy. We used to laugh at guys who, we used to call it shrubbing.
Shrubbing,
Yeah.
yeah.
But think about it. That's absolute nonsense.
Mm.
A monolingual person is laughing at a multilingual person.
Yeah.
Because if you're speaking with an accent, it's confirmation of multilinguicity.
Yeah.
So how can you, as a monolinguist, whether you're a British or an American who speaks one language, English, be surprised that someone who speaks your language with an accent? It only means that he's speaking another language or two. And that's why I like the Somali character.
Yeah.
Because he's a Somali with exposure. He has been to diaspora.
Yes,
So
yeah.
you can still get his accent.
Yeah.
But he's still, you say, this guy has been outside, so you can see, and that's real. I know one or two people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Mike, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's great. I'm really chuffed that I've finally gotten you here. I don't know what are your handles specifically for?
So my handles are Fatboy Kenya.
Yes.
That's for Instagram,
Yes.
TikTok, YouTube, and Fatboy Animations for Facebook.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed that episode 24 of the African Do podcast. That was Mike Muthiga of Fatboy Animation. You can catch them on TikTok, Instagram as Fatboy Kenya. And you can also catch them on Facebook as Fatboy Animations. Go consume their content if you haven't done so.
And on X, Fatboy Kenya.
And Fatboy Kenya on X.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on this episode. I hope you found value, and we look forward to seeing you in episode 25. Asanteni sana.